Welcome to Hardcore Garage. What are we getting into today?
All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is setting up the welder to do some just basic stitch welds on any kind of basic body work that you might want to do. Here we've got a Lincoln 135T. Kevin can tell us. I don't know if this is a decent welder.
Yes, it is.
So
pretty, your basic welder for your home garage.
all right, what would you do when you just starting to learn, if you as far as your wire speed and your voltage? Where do you start?
You want to start out, depending on your thickness of metal, you want to start out on probably your lowest setting. Usually around B, A. You got your A, B, C, and D. D being the strongest, A being the lightest, and then you got your wire speed up here to adjust how fast your wire moves out of your gun. Generally, you want to start out pretty light. You don't want to be blowing holes, and especially body metal. It just creates more work for yourself. Right now, we'll just start out right here. We'll try B3 setting on the welder, and we'll turn it on.
Do a little experimenting. Usually we would have an extra piece of metal, but we don't laying around here, so we are going to try it right on the fender. A phone is a good way to look at some welds if you don't have a welding helmet.
And mind you, we're using flux core wire right now.
Yes, this is flux core non-gas welding.
Generally, when you're welding body metal, you don't want to weld a whole lot in one spot. It will tend to warp the metal. So you kind of need to jump around as much as you can.
With that setting right there, do you think that was a good weld?
That was a decent weld for this and for this particular type of metal. Yes, it's a pretty good weld for that. Considering we're using flux core.
What we are doing here, this is the front fender off of an S10, and if you've ever noticed removing your inner fenders, there is a slight seam where they have the inner and outer fender together, and for whatever reason they don't weld it. It bugs the hell out of me. A lot of people probably don't even notice it, but I am going to smooth it completely out. All right, let's do some more. Do you think you're good where you're set? We're just gonna keep going?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just kind of jump around here and see what happens.
Grinding all the paint off is pretty important too, and we are getting a little bit of interference because I didn't grind it all that great, and the fender's been sitting for a while, so and something to keep in mind.
That's where your inert gas or your gas will help out with that versus flux core.
These welds aren't integral as far as strength and stuff like that. It's all going to get ground back down and covered with Duraglass too. It's just something that's going to make the fender look a little neater. That was pretty wild. I could see the burn off or whatever, all the colors changing in it after the fact.
That's your contaminants in your metal and the paint coming out of it.
Nice.
Boiling out of it.
So we've got some thin ass 89 Chevy sheet metal, and we are welding voltage B, speed 3. Looks like it's doing a pretty decent job. You can always experiment with that.
Absolutely. Every welder will tell you that he will probably not weld on the same setting that I'm welding on. I mean, every welder is different. Everybody moves a little bit faster. It's all pretty much a learning curve.
Stay tuned for next time.